Tonight with former presidential candidate, Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips, Nina Turner, national co-chair of Bernie Sanders' 2020 campaign, former Ohio State Senator. Welcome to you both. Dean Phillips, want to start with you. You were the man who challenged Joe Biden. You rang the alarm bells. You were ostracized from your own party. No media organizations, I think other than this one, would book you because they were in on it, especially MSNBC. You and I were in New Hampshire talking about this not too long ago. I get why Republicans are angry, why independents, why the media cares now. Why aren't elected Democrats, members of Congress, more angry and demanding accountability?
Why? Because, Leland, they want to move past this and have it forgotten about and pretend it didn't happen because it's not advantageous to litigate something for which they're culpable. And I want to celebrate Senator Turner, who's on tonight. A pleasant surprise. She and I met. We're absolutely on the same page on this issue. And another great American who saw what was going on, understood the consequences, and just like me, was deplatformed, dismissed, and now look what happened. And the same people that were the arsonists then are running to the fire with hoses right now. And I'm sure, I don't want to speak for the senator, but I got to tell you, it is awfully difficult to watch. So I'm incredulous, but I also am inspired because I think this might be an opportunity for the Democratic Party to not just issue some reforms, but to really have a moment of reckoning. Because the disservice to the party that the people you just mentioned did, the disservice to the country, and the erosion of trust that resulted from their cover-up is reprehensible, and we have an obligation to do better. Both parties, by the way, are guilty of very similar.
Well, sure, but this is right now we talk about what's in front of us. So, Nina.
Indeed. So that, but the why, let me just repeat the why. The why is they want to slip this under the rug. They want to pretend that they did what they could. No, they didn't. Okay. And I hope every single one of them pays that price.
Nina, do you see anyone in your party realizing that in order to move forward, you've got to honestly deal with the past?
Well, certainly the congressman and myself, we do. But some of those folks, as the congressman said, they want this to go away. They were all complicit. Yep. Even the media was complicit in not wanting to ask the hard questions because they always wanted to have access and be able to get the interview. There are many people involved in this, Leland, who put their careers in front of doing what is right for the American people, including President Biden himself, who said that he was going to be a transformational president. Let us not forget or transition, in that he was going to transition. He wasn't going to run a second time. And I applaud Congressman Dean Phillips because he was the only actively elected person who decided to challenge the system. As we all know, there were others like Dr. Cornel West, like Marianne Williamson, and even RFK Jr., who was pushed over to the Trump side because of the arrogance of the Democrats.
I remember being in New Hampshire with Dean Phillips, and people made fun of him back then. This was a donut event in New Hampshire. Rep. Dean Phillips laments after voters no-show for an outdoor New Hampshire event. Sometimes if you build it, they don't come. And there was a picture attached to it of you with a box of Dunkin' Donuts that was still full. I didn't know that was possible in New Hampshire, that people wouldn't take free donuts. But I want to play for you both. Nina, I think you brought up a very good point of the media. Now, admittedly, this is MSNBC, so this is their people. Mika Brzezinski this morning.
Is it fair to say that Joe Biden had a successful presidency, a remarkable presidency, possibly even a historic presidency in his time in office? It was not news he was older. Even in the campaign that he won, he called a guy fat in New Hampshire, and we all covered it in real time. What's not in the book is the day after the debate, Joe, very painfully, immediately says Biden should step out of the race. I personally went on a very long plea for him to stay in the race, and I still stand by it. Nobody agrees with me.
Dean Phillips, what would it take to get to the bottom of this? Is it a January 6th style committee, a 9/11 style commission? Is that the level at which we are at, you think, in terms of the needing for a frank assessment?
I think back to the Nixon era, Leland, and what reasonable Republicans must have been thinking at that very time, because this is, to me, the analogy. And every Democrat who believes in law and order and believes in the truth, a party that has based its entire brand on transparency, reason, the rule of law, I don't see why there shouldn't be some investigation.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.